A Firbolg, a satyr, and a changeling are on a new continent, searching for an old hero. They've been cursed, stabbed, and emotionally traumatized. They've only just begun. Will they reach Northvale and uncover the secrets of the Raven Queen? Will they find Drix and unravel the mystery of the Gaia?
Will Vigo ever stop holding back contextually important information from his companions?
Not bloody likely. While part of this tale is written in the books, the ink is still wet upon the quill. Join us as we further explore the realm of Ascensia.
The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How could we know for sure? Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, welcome in. Oh, what?
Yeah, you shorted it out again.
Every time.
Every time, dude.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, adventurers. Excited to be back.
I'm joined by three of my very favorite people to play with.
Playing some Dungeons and Dragons with three of my very favorite people, Katie, James, and Meg. Hi, everybody. How are we feeling?
Katie, who is blurring out of existence.
Sorry, I forgot my charger.
Oh, well, you should probably plug that in.
Yeah.
Probably plug that in. James, how you doing?
I'm here. I'm great.
You're good?
He's already plugged in. He came prepared.
It's good
That's
and
true.
great. Great.
Good.
I have no words today. Yay.
Oh, good. That's gonna be perfect.
That bodes well for a bard.
There's lots of NPCs that are planning on talking at you, so it'll be great.
Vigo has words.
James doesn't. Gotcha.
That's right.
And Meg, Margaret Alice, how are you doing, honey?
I'm better than I have been. Thanks for asking. How are
You're
you?
welcome. I'm tired, but I'm here and excited to get into this.
And tonight we're going to try to escape into some fantasy and have a little bit of levity, have a little bit of fun, and try to make our hearts feel a little bit better. And we hope that you'll hang out with us and do that too. Maybe you'll know what the fuck's going on. Maybe you won't. Regardless, we hope you have a good time watching us play this game that we enjoy. They were in the Underneath, this section of the city Titanfell that is, as the name implies, underneath, kind of a city area in between places, in between the surface level of Titanfell and the Dark Market. It is the residence, the base of operations, the launch point, if you will, for an organization known as the Black Glove Society, a thieves guild of sorts that, may walk a somewhat ethically or morally questionable path, but they seem to have some, scruples, a code of ethics, at least of a sort. They don't kill folks for money. That's really the bent of their goodness. They got some stones made that prevents them from being scryed upon, that prevents them from being magically tracked, because we've got a little bit of paranoia among the party, and for good reason, because there's some nasty customers gunning for everybody. I guess bowing for everybody. Oh no, there are guns in this world. Gunning for everybody. There was an earthquake, and this chasm. And there was near this chasm, and the stones fell down there. Wouldn't you know it? And the party goes down, and they were encountered these creatures known as the Infested. These basically a living sentient swarm of insects that inhabit pieces of old armor and chitin and bones and sticks and pretty much anything else that they can pull together a very Frankensteinian style body. These three infested warriors were chasing a thief, a member of the Black Glove Society. I believe his name was Skip Scoot. They dispatched these monsters with no help from Scoot, who was really just trying to scoot away from them. Odessa got covered in the swarm. Vigo and Dimitra blitzed all around the battlefield. I believe at one point, one of you cast a spell that affected the other one, and they had to run off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Run away
Vigo,
laughing.
Vigo made Dimitra run away laughing, but
She got
hijinks
back.
aside, eventually she did indeed. Well, eventually they were able to dispatch these three assailants, and then they had some very choice words with Scoot, which were flavored by some charm magic from Dimitra, and she was able to Odessa was able to talk him out of the money that he was going to be making
Yes.
for this idol that he took from the infested. And that was pretty much it. The party, Scoot told them about a river nearby that would take them through basically a series of secret tunnels that would eventually lead tunnel that would lead to an egress to somewhere to the northwest of the city in the general direction that they were going to be headed to Northvale, which is the Fey settlement of Eldaria. And they've been trying to get there for a while. And we were going to settle someplace, I think, about halfway through for the night to set up camp and have a long rest. What's that face for, James? What's that face for?
The spamming of secret tunnel in the
Oh
chat.
yeah, you can never have too much secret tunnel. What we are going to start tonight off with is this long rest, and one of the tools that we really like to use here in this game is the campfire deck. We are in no way affiliated with these chaps. We're just big fans. James D'Amato, who is an amazing author, but this campfire deck is 75 cards broken up into 6 categories. Your past, your present, your companions, your dreams, your world, and hypotheticals. It's meant to be conversation around the campfire during the long rest. Every player gets 2 cards. One of the cards is for their character, and one of their cards is for their character to ask of another character. And we have found that it really is a big benefit to the game. It also gives me lots of fun stuff to write down and draw from for all sorts of plot devices and plot hooks and things for our characters. So I believe there was some discussion as to who was going to go first. And yeah, let's pitter patter. Let's get at her.
Okay.
I don't have cards. But...
So I'm going to answer one of my cards for Odessa first, which is a your past card. And its question is, what change have you made in your life that brings you pride? Okay. Firbolgs do not traditionally make use of names. So when I was a child, I did not have one. It was not until I was banished from my tribe and sent out into the world that I came across this concept and began to learn about the intentions behind naming and the ways that that people communicate through the names and as Dimitra tells me, they are called nicknames that people give to one another, like gifts or badges of honor. So it brings me pride in making a change that I now know about this tradition and utilize it myself, because I am proud to wear the mantle of the name that was given to me by Freder, who basically raised me once I was banished, and who was recently murdered. That is all. Okay. So how does it impact your day-to-day life on a day-to-day basis? Well, Dimitra is always trying to come up with names. She's always trying to talk about naming us as a group. She's always talking about giving nicknames to people. So sometimes it is difficult for me to keep up because I still have to get used to the fact that I have to remember a name that goes with every single person, and then sometimes you have to remember more than one name that goes with every single person, and it's overwhelming, but I know it comes from a place of love. Now, Vigo, what is something about yourself that you know or are sure will never change?
Oh man,
Yeah, you could have had that ahead of time.
I know.
I respect it. I respect it.
I definitely have an answer for that I am not going to share right now because I'm not ready to share that. But
Ooh,
yeah,
intrigue.
That's cheating.
I feel
it's
like
not cheating. It's not cheating.
It's a little bit, but I'll allow it.
Okay, so then without telling us what it is, the follow-up question is, has it ever been tested? Truly tested.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I can answer it with something else, but all right, that's fair. Has it ever been truly tested? No. No, it has not.
That is the answer I was hoping for.
I can't wait to learn what it is.
And if you would like to jot this down and record a little video for us later, like a pocket prophecy that you can pull out at a later date, that would be great.
I'll think
Please.
about that.
Please write a note to yourself so you don't forget.
I'm just gonna write pocket prophecy. What object would you like to own someday? What makes it appeal to you? To which Vigo would say, coin. As much coin as is humanly possible. Because
Humanly possible?
Fairly?
Human in the general sense.
None of us are human.
Fine. One can do anything, well, almost anything that they want with coin, and I would like to have my hands on that to do what I want with it, and that is that. So, question to Dimitra. Do you have any opinions or views that you are afraid to share with others? What holds you back?
I can't think of a single thing that I wouldn't just share with whomever. I don't know, I feel like as far as opinions go, I don't really keep a whole lot back most of the time unless I'm like specifically trying to accomplish something, in which case if I'm trying to like get into senior bigwigs smooth gala and senior bigwig really likes wine, like, oh, I like wine though, really hates wine, I'm not gonna tell him I love wine because then he might not let me come in, you know what I mean? So case by case, yes. In general, not so much. But I guess now I can say that I have an opinion that I have at least met one changeling, and he's not the creepy, scary monster things that I've been told about my whole life. He's my best friend Vigo. So that's an opinion that I don't know. I feel like would be hard to share without outing him. So,
That's fair.
But we'll see what happens when we get to this phase settlement. So, my question for Dimitra, is in the hypotheticals. What advice or warning would you give a younger version of yourself? How do you imagine impacting your present day life? Maybe ask the Raven Queen some more questions before you decide to basically give her your soul for power.
What a novel concept.
Make sure she's actually the Raven Queen. Also, I don't know how I would do that, but I'm betting I had some really good reasons to say yes, besides getting a really cool weapon and magic powers.
I mean, that seems like a pretty
represented
good
who she
reason.
was. Does that nullify your contract?
That's a good question. It's not really in writing anywhere, I don't think.
You could make a fraud claim, and it's not a contract that could be contemplated to be finished within a year, so it probably would be subject to the statute of frauds, which means it does need to be in writing.
So what you're saying is when we get to Northvale, I should find a Fey lawyer who specializes in pacts.
Yes. If you could get out of contracts with Eldritch, the
Oh
courts.
man! Spoiler alert! He got ate by a dragon.
Oh no!
I
It just happened.
also don't think that's how Fae pacts work.
I'm just a simple Fae lawyer.
The Fae
But,
kind of play by their own rules. I think they'd probably stone every lawyer. And how would that impact my everyday life? Well, I wouldn't be in this pickle now, would I? Done fucked up, y'all.
And Vigo
You
has
need
used
to
every
stop.
ounce of willpower not to say, I told you so.
My question for Odessa: are there any memories from your past that you would like to let go of?
The specific memory that of being banished from her familial tribe. She has tried to let go over and over, say she didn't, it does not matter because I wrote them off a long time ago. But what happened was that my brother accidentally started a fire, which is a big, big no-no, and it is a banishable crime. And he convinced me that if we each said that we did it, then our parents could not possibly banish us both. But he let me go first, and once I confessed, he did not. So
What
I
a stinker.
vanished, and he stayed behind, and that is the story of where I am today. And I try really hard not to care, but especially since finding out that Vigo was apparently on a mission to assassinate my brother for some reason, who is not in the tribe where I left him. I've been thinking about it more lately than I really care to admit.
So the follow-up is, why do you struggle to let go of it?
I don't know that it's something that Odessa has worked out well enough to actually say to either of you out loud at this point. So answering for her and her journey, I think that Odessa still struggles to feel like she belongs, to feel like she's truly part of any group since being told she was no longer part of her family. But she never really felt like she has found a new permanent like home or set of people to be with. And so it's really hard to let go of the anger when she still wants to find that for herself.
All right. Solid round. Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling connected?
I want to play.
All right. So, and now we get to do a fun thing. There is a unique thing that we do here in Ascensia where we do dream rolls, where each character in the long rest will roll a d20, and as you might guess it, the closer it is to a 1 is going to be a bad dream. The closer to 20, it's going to be a really good dream, perhaps even prophetic in nature. We even floated the idea at one point of doing a crit fail on the dream roll, meaning you don't get the benefit of the long rest. But I don't think we're going to introduce that just yet.
That's
I love Viga's face though, James. Your face, your facial expression is just
unduly harsh.
So.
It feels too real. I don't want to be in that world.
In real life, I don't get the benefits of a long rest
Right.
every night. So
I mean, same.
Same.
All right. What did everybody get?
oh,
Oh.
roll.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no.
None of us realized we were supposed to. Oh no, this
We
bad.
talked about rolling
Yeah.
at the end of last episode.
We did, but that never happened, and it's all right.
I don't know if you can see this, but it's ace of bad.
Oh no, 3.
Well, mine's not much better. I had a 4.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, I'm really sorry not to join in solidarity, but I got
No,
a
you're not.
17.
17's pretty solid. Good dream. All right. Who wakes up first?
Not Dimitra.
Well, that's actually what I was gonna say. Was whoever had the worst dream probably would wake up
Oh, but
first.
she's not. She doesn't. She generally does not wake up first. So
That's fair. Here's what we'll do. We'll do a good dream sandwich with some nightmare bread. Starting with you, Vigo. So Vigo, in your dream, you stir a little bit and come to at the campsite. And this again, I think I've used this description before. It's almost as if that campsite is isolated in this ring of light, like you're in a black box theater almost.
What form am I in? Sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
What form do you think he most commonly is when he sees himself dream?
Oh gosh,
Ooh.
I don't know.
We can let fate decide.
Sure.
Odds or evens?
Evens.
He is in his Eladrin form.
Okay.
You wake up at the camp and you see Dimitra there and Odessa there. And as your eyes sort of pan up across the campsite into that firelight, you see a hallway extend outward, cobblestone floor and walls. Some torches even start to come into view. And in the dream, you're compelled to get up and move towards this. And as you do, the campsite just sort of fades into obscurity behind you. And after a few moments, you recall where you are. You are in one of the shrouded strongholds back in Karajid. I don't know that you would recall exactly which one. A lot of them look very similar, and you probably spent a lot of time in them in between gigs. So they all probably sort of blend together in this melange of all of them. And you can hear sounds coming from down the hall of cracking. It's very loud, sharp, popping sound. And as you get closer and closer, you don't even really feel like you're walking. It almost is like you're remote viewing, moving through this hallway. And then you recognize that you're in the cell block of this stronghold. And there is one particular room that this sound is coming from. And as you move closer to it, kind of pass through the door, there is somebody chained to the wall, and Dirties standing there, and he's lashing him with a whip. And you see yourself against the other wall, just standing there, real pensive. And as you witness this scene, the memory floods back that this was an informant that fed you some bad intel, and this was Dirties' manner of making recompense. And as you watch this scene, these memories come flooding back of what happened. You don't think that this informant survived the ordeal. Dirties looks right directly at you, the remote viewing Vigo, and says very quietly, "You could have done something, And then there's one loud crack and pop, and then you wake up. Odessa, your dream is a pleasant one. 17, that's pretty great. You wake up in the dream, you kind of come to, and you are in a library. You will recall after your moment, you get your bearings, that it is an amalgam of the studies and the libraries back at the Karajid, at the capital in Karajid. It's a place where you probably spent a lot of your formative years. And you see your freighter down way at the end of one of these columns of books, and he's actually walking with Drix. And they're having some sort of conversation, and you are in your body in this dream, moving towards the two of them, and this is the first time that you ever encountered Drix in person. It's very brief. He gives you a nod and shakes your hand. Freighter introduces the two of you, and Drix says very simply to you, "I have heard promising things about you. We'll keep an eye. Keep up the good work." And then he leaves. Freighter just kind of gives you this smile, and then the two of you walk off. And then you wake up. You rolled a 3. That's a bad dream.
Yeah. No kidding.
So given the where Dimitra's headspace has been of late, I think that it would be appropriate for this dream to kind of come flooding back, especially as they make their way towards a a concentration of Fae. Probably the first time that her and Vigo will have been around any large group of Fae in a long while. You can see yourself, younger self, there with the Raven Queen, and it's this very awe-inspiring sight almost. There's dark magic flowing all around as her hand, it's almost in slow motion, comes out to take the hand of your younger self. When she takes your hand, you get this really intense flash. Roll me an insight check.
14.
In that flash, you get 3 really distinct impressions. One is of a great Fey oak, these massive Fey trees sundering up the middle. This very, almost like it got struck from lightning, but from down below the ground in the roots, which is where lightning comes from anyway, but you know what I mean. The next flash is of Vigo, but he's being pulled into 2 different versions of himself. Imagine he's reproducing by mitosis, and he splits into 2. But it's violent and uncomfortable, and does not seem like something that he is doing willingly. And then the last image that you have is of a figure, very tall, feminine, holding a halberd, wreathed in flame, with a section of Titanfell in front of them, burning. And then you wake up.
Yeah, she woke up. She had a bad dream.
Good morning. You're all awake now.
Odessa will toss a pillow at Dimitra.
As she sits up, sweating. She says, "Ha! Ha! Odessa,
Dimitra!
is your halberd on fire?"
Is my halberd on fire?
Okay, great. Where's Vigo?
Morning already, is it?
Vigo, are you okay?
I mean, that's a loaded question. Define okay.
Well, you don't feel like you're getting violently torn in 2 right now, do you?
Physically or metaphorically?
Both? Either?
Physically, I appear to be intact. Metaphorically, 2 may not suffice to describe the number of ways I feel like I'm being pulled.
Maybe that's all it is. I had a really terrible dream. God. Breakfast. We need breakfast. I'm gonna go get breakfast. And she's just gonna stand up and first go to her pack. And she's gonna pull out a flask and take a swig of it and put that back. And then she's gonna grab out her pipe and she's gonna start puffing on it. And these little like smoke monsters start coming out as she's puffing. And she's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go find breakfast. And she's just gonna
Do you know where you're going?
No, it's fine.
Oh. Is she going to be okay?
Yeah, she will be fine. She will do what
Are
she
we-
needs to do, and she will come back, and we will move on.
I'm
Perhaps
going
you
to
and I
try
should
and-
sit in quiet contemplation together.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be slicing up some more of that mushroom and pairing it with some like bits of hard cheeses so that there will be snacks ready for her when she returns.
Does Vigo go after Dimitra?
He's going to extend an olive branch and trust Odessa, and also deal with his internal distress at the idea of walking away from camp and stay put.
Because she said she was gonna find breakfast, and she's just gonna randomly pull up some moss and get out her knife and kind of like smell some of the trees and see if any of them smell good. And she finds one whose bark does smell good, and she carves off a little bit of it, and she brings it back to camp. And she just plops down next to Odessa and hands her the stuff.
Odessa takes it and, without saying anything, hands her a bundle of little cheese mushroom snackies in a, like, wrapped in a cloth.
That looks much better than what I got. You can throw that shit in the fire.
Tough.
I have been thinking that we've been through a lot already together. Vigo, you and I have been through a lot. Odessa and I have been through a lot. And the three of us together, in just a few short days, we've all been together. We've been through a lot. So I think it's time that we come up with a squad name.
What is a squad?
So you know how your nickname is Briar Rose, right? And then you know how Vigo and I, our name when we were working together for many years was the Stolen Scenes. And then you and I, our duo name was Short Stack.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, because she's short and you're stacked.
So the three of us together now need a name.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay. Just to.
So we're not just the trio, because that's, so I've been thinking, I think when, you know how we're all kind of, how to put this? You know how we're all kind of beings of legend and lore? There's lots of stories, right? One might say that we're even mythic.
I suppose that is not inaccurate.
Right? So I see we could be the Mythic Brotherhood.
Why must we be brothers?
It's just it's like the generic term. Like you could say sisterhood, but that feels more exclusionary of Vigo.
Also doesn't seem to apply necessarily.
I mean, you're a changeling. You could be a chick.
Don't identify as one.
How is sisterhood any more exclusionary of Vigo than brotherhood is exclusionary of us?
Okay, if you don't like Brotherhood, that's fine. We could be the Mythic Explorers.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if we don't like Mythic, we're all kind of quirky, right? We could be the Quirky Questers.
I do like the alliteration. That is fun to say.
Quirky Questers is the 8-bit version of y'all in a side-scrolling adventure game.
That is our
Team
alt-right.
that wears mauve on Legends of the Hidden Temple.
We can keep brainstorming. I just
don't
wanted
dislike
to like.
mythic, but should
Mythic.
is this something we can give to ourselves, or should
Yes.
we earn a name by reputation?
It's
We
amazing
can give it to ourselves.
what insight you have into how nicknames work, Odessa. It's
Well,
true.
I have,
Generally speaking, you don't nickname yourself. It has to be bestowed upon you by someone else.
Well, it's not so much a nickname as it is the title of our team. So we can like announce ourselves.
I understand logically the need for this practical thing. If we are to say, hey, this is the group that we are, and this word means the three of us, and that is who is here to help, that's a lot shorter than saying all three of our names.
And as we gain more of a reputation here in Ascensia, be easier if we got like a name instead of just Vigo, Dimitra, and Odessa.
Wait. What makes you think I want a reputation here? I don't want people to know who I am.
That is a good point.
We had a reputation as the Stolen Scenes. I don't see why we wouldn't want a reputation here.
Yes,
Oh,
but
wow.
it seems that more and more people are familiar with what I am, and I'd prefer not to invite more people into that brotherhood.
That y'all have broken camp and are having this conversation in
As a
transit.
journey.
Yeah, on the road.
Continue. Yes.
Makes sense.
There's a walk and talk.
Would it
We're
not
storkening.
perhaps be in your benefit then for us to replace our real names with a different name, and people may not know that you are associated with that name.
Are we doing code names again?
A nom de plume, as it were.
Saying that in Odessa's accent. Excellent.
But
Well done.
it was very difficult.
No. It's more. Our reputation as a group precedes your reputation as an individual. So you're more part of a collective.
I see.
Yeah.
Disappearing
This
to the mask of unity.
I take your suggestion of a team name. I hear it. I'm taking it in. I vote we table it for now. Come back to it when we've had more time to think.
Yes, when we've had more time to drink.
That too. Yes.
So next tavern we get to, we'll have at least 3 drinks, and then we'll have this conversation again.
And we can assemble a focus group amongst the tavern patrons. And
No,
get
that
them-
sounds like too much. I thought you didn't want more people to know. Why are you trying to get more people involved?
If we're going to go by a name, we may as well focus test it and see what's most popular.
Well, could it be helpful? What if we were to disguise our identities with something like, I don't know, a mask, and then you could have the mask mythics, and then you get the word mythic, and you get the alliteration, and boom, we have it.
But I don't want to put my pretty face behind a mask all the time.
I was just trying to help.
But it does have a good ring to it.
Thank you.
We have arrived at Northvale. But before we jump right into it, yes, I would like give me some perception checks from Dimitra and Vigo specifically.
Interesting.
Something I'm only adequate
Something's afoot.
at.
16.
Or a hoof.
Time to put that decoy away.
8.
Yes.
Okay. Vigo will say that this doesn't really occur to you because you're just very in your head. Plus, maybe your memory is not as sharp as it used to be for reasons outside of your understanding. Dimitra, as you all are walking on this trail, and Odessa, you would recognize the shift as well, but Dimitra is the only one that it really occurs to, is the foliage, the light, the ground itself starts to change as you are walking along. And given moment to pause and sort of take in your surroundings more minutely, you would find that it is almost as if you are walking in the Feywild. There are Fey plants, the stones, literally every aspect, and you can even look if you took the time to do so, and you would see that there's even like almost a clear line where it changes. And looking down at a small level, would see these sort of fractaled spirals where the material of Eldaria meets the material of this Feywild. And given your history with the displacement events, this is very characteristic of that. The only difference is it seems much, much larger than any other displaced area that you have come across.
So Dimitra's just gonna stop in the middle of the path and go, stop, guys. Hey, look. Look at this. And she's gonna backtrack slightly to before where this line is, and then she's gonna come forward, and then she's gonna backtrack again. She's like, do you guys see it?
What? Are you?
Vigo, look, and she's gonna point.
Yeah, her pointing it out to you would bring it to your attention now.
Oh.
Yeah,
Been a while.
it's been a long time.
What am I looking at?
It looks it looks like we're in there's a line here, and look on the ground, and she's gonna point out the line. There seems to be a distinct line. Look how the things change on this side of the line versus where we just were. Like the plants and the rocks, and so on this side of the line, this is what the Feywild looks like.
So this must be one of the pockets where the planes are wibbly
Well, it's
wobbly.
like a chunk of the Feywild is no longer in the Feywild. It's now on the material plane, and it's just like someone carved out a chunk of it and just dropped it right there, and there's a distinct line, and then there's Fey stuff inside. You cross over and the Fey stuff's gone.
So do we think the portion of the material plane that it replaced is on the Fey plane?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been back to the Fey plane since my family and I came over here.
But
I would argue that that's probably the running theory with the other Fae that you've possibly discussed this with.
Are there any fruit-bearing trees nearby?
Yeah, absolutely.
Vigo just sort of mindlessly wanders over towards one and just kind of puts one hand up against the trunk and like stares up longingly at the fruit-bearing tree.
You come upon a tree that's called a golden rain tree, and it has these bright yellow flowers that are very, very sweet and bears these small berries, white berries. And when it rains, the tree shimmers gold. You will notice this tree, and you will take it in, and as you bask in that nostalgic feeling that is washing over you, your notice trails to another tree of the same kind. And then beyond that is another tree. And there's actually a bit of fence. It's old though. This bit of fence has been kind of overgrown with some vines. Looking around the area, you find what looked like maybe an old homestead where somebody was maybe had a little farm or a little orchard.
Trail of tree crumbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait till you find a crumb tree.
Oh no.
That sounds really
Yeah.
crummy, actually.
It's unpleasant. It's very unpleasant.
Oh, so not like a crumb cake then.
No, you remember that little mean little guy, little bird guy from Star Wars? That
Salacious crumb?
yeah, it's just a tree covered in those guys.
Yeah.
Do I recognize the homestead?
No, but you would recognize after again this is it's very overgrown. This maybe looked like it was not actually meant to be anybody's forever home. It was possibly something that was hastily built to tide some folks over. Perhaps they were trying to cultivate these trees. Hard to say for certain, but you do recognize it as Fey architecture.
Okay.
Continuing in this manner, exploring these new old surroundings. The air is very sweet, and after a few moments, Vigo and Dimitra would start to hear the song. There is a occurrence in the Feywild that the song of creation is what created the universe, at least as far as the Feywild is concerned, and it came from the Feylight. And following this trail and headed towards North Vale, you come upon the edge of the city. It is surrounded with very lush forests. You see some very obvious orchards and farms on the outskirts of a city that is full of buildings, new buildings, built in the classical Fey style. And in the distance, between where the town would be and the base of this mountain range is a massive Fey oak. You will recall possibly, I don't know that maybe your characters had been to one in person, maybe you hadn't. I'll let the two of you make that determination for yourselves. But in the Feywild, there are these cities that are built in some of these Fey oaks. Now, this one is not big enough for that yet, but it is well on its way. Now, it is worth noting that this There is some fungal growths among the trees that you can see where it does look like Eldaria is encroaching a little bit, but it is seamlessly meshed with the Fae and that plant life.
Does the town seem like lively? What's the
Oh yeah.
atmosphere of the town?
Oh yes, yes. You can probably hear some people, hear some commerce. There, the main road leads to a bridge that crosses a very large gate with these towers at either end of it. Everything is made out. I think similar to Rivendell, but not quite so pretentious. A little more homely, a little warmer.
Well, this is a mixed faith community, right?
Yeah, it's
So
a
less
yes.
racism.
So right out the gate, you would notice that there are a mix of Fey species milling about, a number of elves, various Eladrin from the different courts. You even see a couple of drow, not necessarily. Well, I don't know. I'll save that thought for later. There are pixies flying about. There are some fairies. There are some spriggans and dryads. And there are some satyr.
So does he run their satyrs?
Yeah, there are some satyr. So are we just headed towards
So-
town?
No.
Dimitra is gonna like smack her friends on the shoulder excitedly, and she's just getting very giddy as they get closer and closer, and she's just feeling like the positive, lively energy. Like she's just itching to like get in there and see all these fae and to like talk to some other satyrs. It has been a very long time since she's seen any other satyrs. And like so she starts to like skip ahead, and then she like catches herself and comes back. Looks to Vigo and says, "Are you okay?"
I think the slapping Vigo on the shoulder probably snapped him out of his tree-based reverie. I I don't think I need to impress upon the two of you how very much I'm going to ask you not to reveal me while we're here.
Yes, obviously.
Reveal what? I can't make
What?
him invisible.
No, reveal what I am intrinsically.
Oh, why would that come up?
I don't know, but the point is,
I feel like you're pretty good at what you do, so is there any reason to think that anybody who sees you would not think that you are...
if there is
what you appear to
anyone group of people more attuned to me than what you would see around, it's the Fae. Let's also not call me Vigo while we're here.
You want to be Vigoria?
Galen.
Galen. Okay, Galen. I can do that. Galen.
Galen is...
Galen means you. Actually, could you put on a different face, maybe?
No, see, Galen is... and he points at himself, is him.
Oh, no, I don't want to call you that. I'm not going to call you that.
Mm-mm.
Let's...
No, pick a different name.
No,
Who is that guy? That's a real person's face you are wearing?
Yeah, we don't.
Yes, I can only wear real
Yeah,
person's
all
faces.
of the
Actually,
I don't
Odessa-
know how it works.
Odessa doesn't know.
I've
That's a
never
good
played
point.
Changeling before. I didn't
What?
even know that they were really a thing.
but you've seen me look like other people.
Yes, but how was I
Multiple
supposed
times.
to know that you could not pull a form from your imagination?
No,
That's
no, I
true.
have
There's
to.
no way she wouldn't know that. Yeah.
Wouldn't I? I don't either. Either one of you would have known that, really.
So I am still confused why we do not want you to use this face's name.
Do you want to explain it, or should I?
This is the face of the man that slaughtered my entire family, as it were.
I know it's really weird that he wears it. I don't like it either.
Why do you do that?
Well, a number of reasons. Number one, he wasn't a bad man. He was just
Was it he?
he was misled. he was taught that my people were monsters. That was all he knew. Much like your friend Thrago.
And we know how much compassion you show to him.
I haven't murdered him, have I?
Yes, but you've made it very clear that you do not like him because you assume that he thinks you are a monster, even though he does not know what you are. And
No, it's
you
not
know
that I think.
this guy whose face you put on did think you were a monster, and he is not a bad guy.
The reason I. Look, I think Thrago suffers from a very similar problem. However, I don't have a lengthy history of being friendly with Thrago like I did with Galen here before he discovered my family's secret and put an end to them.
Oh, so as long as the villain is very nice to you for a certain amount of time, it is fine?
You're very hasty to throw around the term villain.
I'm just playing devil's advocate for how hastily you are to dismiss the idea when he slaughtered your entire family.
Look,
Slaughter is not a
everyone,
nice word.
everyone thinks that my people are monsters and evil and should be destroyed. Present company excluded, it would seem.
I was about to say.
Well, if you didn't know me, Dimitra, would you feel the same way? You don't have to answer that question.
He did know you, and he did know your family. He spent enough time to get to know you and like you, just as much time that you spent getting to know him and like you. And then he still did a really terrible thing.
Right.
I
but
don't think that makes him a good person. So I
didn't-
really don't want to use that name
I
to
didn't
describe
say-
you.
I'm just trying
He's-
to figure out how your compassion works for one situation and not another.
When his only form of information handed to him was that my people were horrible creatures meant to be destroyed, much is the fear of anyone that knows of changelings, that we hide amongst them as something else. And when that was revealed to him, I'm sure I can't speak for the man, I'm not in his head, but I have to
Well,
imagine that.
technically.
No, I'm in his body, not his head. He's not his brain. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
But you are not in Thrago's mind either, and yes, you are quick to make judgments when it comes to other people's assumptions instead of, I don't know, maybe trying to educate them?
You're not entirely wrong. I tried to make a point of educating him the last time we spoke, when I made clear to him he shouldn't rely upon the stories that others have told him without doing the work himself.
And you made this point very clearly and logically without any sort of interrogatory, line of questioning or intimidation or...
I believe so, yes.
It's not how I remember it either, Odessa.
Well,
All right, so
Two
we
weeks
are
are
at an
around.
impasse because you have a name that Dimitra does not want to use, and I am not here to make anybody do something that they don't want to do. So you wear whatever face you like, and but pick a
The
name that we can all
problem,
say.
if I may, the problem is if somebody here would recognize this face, they wouldn't recognize who it was.
Oh, they might know him. Do you? So you're.
Can you look like someone different? Oh, you can look like what's his face from Titanfell, the museum curator. He's probably not out here.
I know precious little about that man. I heard many, many stories from Galen.
You know him best, so you can imitate him the best. This I understand.
Correct.
Don't like it.
I'm
Is
not
there
a
nobody
particular-
else?
How about
No.
we give this face a nickname?
It wouldn't help if somebody knew
Fine,
Just
we can
because
call
other
me.
people may see you and refer to you by the face's proper name does not mean we need to refer to you as that name. And since no one has met him on the Fey plane for many years, it would make sense that there are people that he knows that they would not know who might have given him a nickname.
Fair enough. Why don't you call
Okay.
me Gilda?
Gilda.
Gilda.
Gilder,
can-
because you come from a guild?
Galen's last name was Gilden Sky.
Ugh. How about just Gil? Can we call you
Fine.
Gil?
Oh, that
Okay.
is a fun name. That is a part of a fish.
Let's say
Yes.
for now, was hired to be your bodyguard.
Can't we just be friends?
Also, come on.
As this conversation is happening, not too far from the city, you hear some fireworks go off.
Okay, that's enough. We have to go look at the fireworks. Come on, Gil. Come on, Rosie.
All right. So there's a large bridge that leads into the town. That is, there's a gate. You see two halflings run past off to the gate, giggling. Coming down the bridge after these two halflings is this tiefling with red hair and red skin, large horns going back, glasses. She's dressed fairly well. She's carrying a clipboard. She's stomping after these halflings when she sees the three of you. She adjusts her glasses. Oh, greetings, fellow Whisperkin. Are you new to the area?
We are, and I just bought one of these snacks. Do you want one? And she's gonna hold out one of the pastries.
No, thank you.
Okay. She's gonna
Come
shove it
in.
in her mouth.
Are you displaced?
Mhm.
Oh, come, please, come. And she leads the three of you into the city proper. You are welcome to. What are your names?
They call me Rosie. And I like your horns.
Thank you. I am Lyrae. I'm the mayor of Northvale.
A mayor. Very impressive.
Yes. Come.
I'm Dimitra, and this is Gil.
Charmed.
Pleasure to have you both among us. And what was your name again?
Some people call me Rosie. Other people call me Odessa. You may call me anything, anytime.
Very. Thank you. Well, what has brought you to Northvale? Are you seeking asylum? Are you seeking aid? What can we do for you?
Yes, asylum. And information. Do you have a museum or a library or anything like that?
There is a library and a small museum in the town hall. I would take you there myself, but I am in the midst of some last-minute preparations for the festivities tonight. Tonight is Salura. It is the Festival of Veils.
I feel like would I know
Give me
that?
some history checks.
Missed.
9.
Wow.
Uh,
8.
So you would recognize the name Silura. Silura is one of the moons that orbits Ascensia. And this, Odessa, you don't know all of the details of it, but probably in your cross-cultural studies, particularly in dealing with displaced Fae, you would have learned about the Festival of Veils. It is during the month of Siluran, and its theme is illusion, mystery, and hidden truths. The Festival of Veils is a time when the boundary between reality and illusion blurs. People don't don intricate magical masks and costumes that can change appearance at will, symbolizing the power of illusion and transformation. Magical displays of illusionary art fill cities, while illusionists and tricksters perform grand feats of deception.
It is the celebration when everybody enjoys illusion magic. It should be right up your alley, Gil. This one is very talented with illusion
Yeah,
magic.
Vigo
People
shoots
like
a look
And
at us.
me.
magical masks, which is very cool. So I'm just saying that mask mystic thing might come up again.
Vigo, without anyone noticing, pulls one short sword out and gently prods Odessa with it
Judy,
before putting it.
go away. Back in your
Oh.
scabbard, Missy.
I don't know how I could have forgotten that. I think it's just been I was displaced a very long time ago when I was still just a goatling, just a kid.
We have quite a few Whisperkin among us that have experienced just such a circumstance. So I certainly can sympathize with you. You can find some refuge, supplies, refreshment at the cathedral. There is a tavern at the end of the lane here called the Vale. It is one of a few establishments that was built by the founders of North Vale, so to speak. But I'm sure you can learn all about that if you decide to take the tour at the town hall and peruse the library and the museum. Although you might just learn just as much, if not more, just conversing with some of the locals.
I'd love a private tour.
I will see if I can make arrangements for that, but I am very busy, as I'm sure you understand. She also holds up a hand, and she has a band around her wrist. I'm also spoken for. But you're very lovely.
That was a really good try, Odessa. Good job.
As a fairy whizzes by, giving a nod. Good. Just in passing. The city sort of winds up in these big slopes, and up 2 or 3 of these slopes, you see this very tall cathedral, the Cathedral of Song. Are you planning on staying with us?
You probably not for very long. We are on a diplomatic mission, actually. So very nice to run into you. And when you do have a spare moment, we would like to talk to you more about that. But after we're done here, we'll eventually need to continue on our way. But thank you so much for the very kind and warm invitation to stay. This is a lovely town, and I'm very excited to see more of it.
Well, I'm excited for you to see more of it. Of course, the 3 of you are welcome, as long as you like, as long as you need. There is only one real rule that I must impart on you now. We abhor violence.
Against all things, or?
Against all things within the city, yes. There are quite a few magic protections in place on most of the buildings to keep out unwanted pests. We also have a rigorous guard that patrols the outer walls and areas of the city. Plus, there are quite a few farm communities. We are closed at the back. The mountain range, the city runs all the way to the base of the great tree, and the mountain range comes right up into its roots. So really, you can only get into the city from this direction. So we are fairly well protected here.
2 relatively important questions. Number 1, what kind of magical guards do you have on the buildings? And number 2, what constitutes a pest?
This area tends to be plagued by some very aggressive insect life forms, large. They tend not to be too much of a problem. They can be somewhat territorial, though. We occasionally have caravan horses go missing. things of that sort. Usually we try to avoid any conflict with them, but if their range comes a little too close to some of our citizenry, well, we must take what precautions we can. We do have quite a regiment of druids on staff with the guard, and they work to repel any dangers with as little violence as possible. We have strived very hard to maintain the song here, and I don't know how long the two of you have been out of the light, but disrupting that song is a little too easy here in this place. Eldaria.
Oh, the whole everywhere on the continent is difficult?
Eldaria had its own magics about it whenever this section of the Fae came into it. So, yes.
What
These
what
ins-
kind of magics?
Some sort of primordial magic. It's really outside of my wheelhouse.
These insects that are causing some issues, they don't happen to look like large bat wasps, do they?
Can't say as such, though up towards the further northern edges of the mountain range, we do occasionally have run-ins with some large flying insect-like creatures. These particular insects that have been burdenous to us are a burrowing species, dire hellgrammites.
That sounds nasty.
We have developed a good enough balance, I think. The city has been without incident for quite some time now.
Much like when we first met, still charmed. Think we can bid you adieu for now.
Oh, yeah, you're really busy. Don't let us keep you.
Yes, yes. So, sorry, I do like to drone on. Enjoy your
Oh,
stay
no.
with us. And please do visit the Vale. They have some special drinks and food items on the menu for the festival, and they really are a treat. And hopefully, I will see all of you later at some of the festivities. If you would still like to have a conversation, I am also curious about this diplomatic matter. Come by the town hall and make an appointment. I should have some time tomorrow afternoon, I would think.
Is there someone there now to make an appointment, or should we go by tomorrow morning?
My aide is there currently handling any incoming matters to the town hall, yes.
All right. Perfect.
Great. Okay, thanks, Larea.
Have we been talking to her for at least 1 minute?
Yes.
Excellent.
Wow. Okay. Okay. First of all, Odessa, way to just like throw yourself out there.
I don't know what it is. Suddenly, all of a sudden, I am
She was really pretty.
very pretty.
Thank you.
Yes, but perhaps we don't need to spend as much time flirting with those that would rather see me dead.
Okay, you don't know that for sure. You don't argue. You don't know. And B, we got a lot of helpful information out of her.
Fair.
Do not worry.
Vigo, give me a perception check.
I got 21. Let's go.
Nice.
You will notice that you're not in. It's not like super busy, especially with the recent comparison to Titanfell. It is not as crowded as that. But there are, probably a dozen or so odd people at any given point passing through this sort of square area there near the bridge and the main gate of the town. There are a few Eladrin, and they are kind of giving you some glances.
Yes. Let's move on, perhaps.
Yeah, there's so many different places we could go. We could go to the Cathedral of Song, which I don't know about you, Gil, but it's been a very long time since I've heard the Song of Creation.
That is an experience I would like to have. Well, we do
Yes,
need to make
Jimmy
a-
Jams.
About what would changelings even think about the Song of Creation?
I think, and this is just me, and you can feel free to, because I don't want to do anything that robs you of any agency. It could be that you have been outside of the light long enough that this might not be the thing. You've also been in very dark places for a while now.
Right.
And that can very undoubtedly have an impact. I think generally all Fae feel a connection to the song. And give me, you know what? We're going to really get into it. Give me another history check, and you can do this one with advantage.
Oh.
We are basking in the light of the song.
17.
Very nice. You can recall from your earliest days somebody, an elder in your family unit, in your tribe, in your clan, or in your veil. I think that's actually what we decided to name a group of changelings that insisted. Now, whether or not this was something that the other changelings believed, you can decide that 100%. But this elder insisted that that they had a voice among the song, that they had a voice in the song too. That's really what the song does. Is the song, when any Fae hear it, it feels like it is their voice is a part of it.
So would that be almost like a religious belief?
Yeah, sure. Religious, spiritual. I don't want to put. There's not like a real structure to it.
Sure.
There's not like a god or anything.
No.
Right.
Well, there are, but that's a whole. We'll have that conversation at another point.
It's still like a spiritual like belief in
Harmony.
some sort of higher
Yeah.
power, higher
Yeah.
cause kind of thing.
And it very much comes from the light. So being outside of the light can definitely, I would think, make sense for it to lend to some disconnect.
Right. Okay. So to that end, thank you for
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
lesson. Vigo would be like, I'm not entirely sold on the cathedral, but I'm happy to tag along if that's where you want to go.
Oh, well, if nothing else, you are a bard, and it is a song of power.
I think probably let's go to town hall and make that appointment, since the one thing we know for sure we need to do is the diplomat stuff. And then we can also, didn't she say there was like a walking tour or something from there? We could.
Yeah, there's a library and a museum, and we can probably get some information there
Yes.
too.
It sounded like maybe there was like a pamphlet with a map we could pick up or something at the town hall. So
Anything to get out of where we currently are, because I am starting to draw a trifling
are you
bit of
sure that
attention.
this face is popular among these people who might know him? Because
Odessa and Dimitra and Vigo once again give me another perception check. Actually, all three of you.
Maybe do you have like a hood that you could just like put up over your face?
No.
Oh, it's about time I had a good roll.
try the pulling a face from your imagination.
I had a 23.
You said perception?
Yeah.
19.
Okay.
21.
Okay. All three of you would pick up on it at this point because you have been observing these surrounds long enough. All of the Eladrin are dressed very different from Vigo. Vigo's outfit, like his outfit, somewhat garish, a mystique to it. The Eladrin are all dressed according to their seasons in muted tones. The Eladrin are very bothered by the manner in which Vigo is dressed.
Like,
Maybe we should go shopping. Do we see any shops on our way to the town hall that are selling coats?
Not that are selling coats. This first area is like sundries. There's probably some market stalls doing like fruits and vegetables. The finery and that sort of stuff is going to be up in one of the higher tiers.
First of all, I like the coat. I'm not changing it. Number two, I'm certainly not buying anything.
You guys get to the town hall and go into the main entrance, and there are like velvet ropes blocking off all of the other doorways leading to the library, leading upstairs, and leading to the museum section. Behind the counter desk area there in this main area is an Eladrin. She's quite a bit younger, though, and I don't know how you would know that, but I feel like you would know that. So you do with that what you will.
So like the same age as us, or just like
probably not that young. She's still probably a couple of 100 years old. But
okay.
You know what I mean? Like they have like a
right.
like Arwen versus Elrond. You know, like Arwen is clearly younger than Elrond, but she's still like 400 years old, right?
Yeah, she's his daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just did a Tolkien universe, cinematic universe binge. She's standing behind the counter, much like this artwork, and she looks very sour, with her hand resting on a very large, short, kind of a strange sword, that it actually appears of dwarven make. And she's dressed in very rough, dirty kind of clothes. Not what you would necessarily expect walking into the mayor's office.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Delighted. We're visitors here on and I look back at my two companions. Diplomatic mission? Is that right? Yes? Yes. The mayor instructed us to come here and make an appointment.
Ah, right. Treating me like a bloody secretary. What are your names? When do you want to come back?
I'm sorry, what's your typical point of a role that you have here?
I'm a blacksmith's apprentice.
I see.
Oh.
The mayor is my sister-in-law. I'm
Ah,
filling in.
family business, as it were.
Something like that. What are your names?
But is the what kind of smithing do you do?
I'm specializing in arms and armaments mostly. Haven't touched much armor yet.
Is that your handiwork that you're brandishing?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Dwarven make, as it were.
Yes, trained with some of the mountain dwarves.
How wonderful. Is this like improving her mood at all?
Give me an insight check.
22.
Yeah, there's a little bit lightness to her, I suppose, but you get the impression that she's just sort of a rigid individual.
Right. Well, this is Dimitra, and this is Rosie, and I am Gil. A pleasure to meet you. I hate to bother you. I know this isn't your typical bailiwick, but we're very helpful. Thankful for your help.
Of course, I will get you on the schedule. Looks like she has some clear spots on her calendar tomorrow around tea time. Would that work for you?
I'm delightful. I am a fan of tea.
Recommendation for best food and drink at the tavern?
I am partial to the briar bread.
Briar bread. That sounds. Have I had briar bread?
Give me a history check.
Yeah, that's a 25.
Yeah. It's been a really long time, but yeah.
So Dimitra's eyes will just go, but she's like, briar bread? I haven't had briar bread since I was a wee little kid.
Yes. It doesn't cultivate well outside of the Fae, but
No.
here we are.
Hard to get briar bread starter.
Gil, when was the last time you had briar bread?
It's been a while, and Vigo will lean over to Dimitra and sort of whisper, "Legend have no sense of seasoning or flavoring. It's so bland. Don't make me eat briar bread, please."
If you're looking for something with a little more spirit to it, I also recommend the Emberfruit whiskey.
Oh, that sounds good too. Thank you. You've
Quite
been
welcome.
super helpful. What's your name?
Kalith.
Tell me, Caleb, are there any rainberry cordials available at the
Yes, I do believe so. They also use rainberries in the treetop trifle, the dessert. Quite popular.
Oh my god, I'm getting hungry. Okay, I think we have to go to the tavern next. Before we go, is the museum open?
Not currently. We try to keep it closed on at least the day of the festival, simply because it is hard to keep it staffed. Ideally, we would open back up tomorrow afternoon, but really depends on how the festivities go tonight, I suppose.
Speaking of museums, we did happen to occasion upon the one in Titanfell.
Ah, yes.
Do you all have any connection with that one?
Yes. Actually, one of the town council members has good relations with the management of that museum, and they have bartered some trade, artifact trade with Titanfell.
How do you feel
Oh.
about the authenticity of their exhibits?
Well, I haven't been. Truthfully speaking, I don't much care. Museums tend to be a bit stuffy.
Yeah, I get that.
That's true. Yes, can often lead you on wild goose chases for water.
What was the town? That sounds like nonsense. What was the town council member's name who has the ties to the museum?
Hold on, I got it. It's just gonna take me a second.
I see your plans, and I toss them in the garbage.
Her name is Vathri. She's Sylvan.
Boy, they have no easy names in this town.
Just you fucking wait.
Nobody named Bill.
I'm gonna test everybody's Elvish pronunciation.
Oh boy.
So thank you for your time, and I guess we'll come back at another time when the museum is open.
If you're at the tavern later, we're likely to cross paths.
Great. You are excellent company, and we would love to run into you again.
Enjoy your time with us. She continues about dealing with some paperwork or some such.
Odessa will hesitate just a moment and set her fingertips down on the desk. Your first whiskey is on me.
I'll take you up on that.
On their way out, Dimitra's going to lean to Odessa and say, Odessa, exactly how long has it been for you?
Are you okay?
I mean, I have a fire demon inside of me, so no?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
Exactly.
+4 is 13.
Oh, no. So as you say that phrase, you get this really sharp pain in your ear.
Ow.
Almost like have you ever had a hot ear? Like it real fast, and in your head you hear this voice, "Careful how you speak of me, mortal."
Well, you haven't told me what you are.
You're talking out loud. We don't know who you're shouting at.
Well, that's okay. I do.
Yes, but
Okay.
to outward appearances,
But, okay,
you might look crazy.
There's a satyr just like watching Odessa as he's like peeling a potato.
Rosie, how long has it been? Because you have been trying very hard to get in people's pants for the last 24 hours.
Vigo very clearly sidles up on the other side, like as though on the other shoulder, as it were, and be like,
You don't have to answer that question if you don't want to.
I actually really appreciate that.
You know, it's your business,
I
and you
know.
don't mind what she says.
Look, I'm just trying to be helpful because I can be a really good
Not-
wing woman if you want me to be a really good wing woman.
Also, be a wing woman without asking such personal questions.
Look, I'm just trying to help a friend out.
You can help
3
without
whiskeys, please.
trying.
What languages do all three of you understand?
Common,
Sylvan?
Elvish, and Sylvan.
Yeah, common, sylvan, and primordial.
Common, giant, elvish, and lizard folk.
Odessa and, well, even Dimitra, even if you can't read it, you would recognize that that's what it is. In the door frame are the surnames that have the most antiquity of anything there. They look like they were carved into these beams when these timbers were first put into place. There are 7 surnames across the doorway. but one of them in particular will stand out immediately to Vigo. It is the Elvish translation for tree minder, which we do not know what that significance is. I know what that significance is. Someone else knows what that significance is.
I wonder who it is.
Who could it be? The tavern is very crowded. Not very, very crowded, but there's a goodly amount of people here for whatever day of the week afternoon it is. But you know, with the revels are getting ready for the festivities, and this individual is standing kind of looking across the room as there are some other guys carrying something, a large rectangular object that's covered in fabric, which you might infer is possibly a painting, but it is, like I said, covered up. And he's sort of directing as he swirls this glass of wine. Are you approaching him?
Sure. Yeah. Dimitra. So he's standing on the bar or at the bar?
He's on the bar.
I didn't know the Vale was that kind of place.
Well, darling, the Vale can be whatever kind of place you need it to be. And then he steps down off the bar and onto a stool and steps down. He's actually quite a bit shorter than most high elves. As you'll see, he's not too much taller than you. But he steps down and looks at you, leans over and takes your hand and kisses it. And he goes, "Charmed, Whisperkin. I'm Fallon. Who are you? I don't believe I've seen you here before."
The pleasure is all mine. My name is Dimitra.
Pleasure indeed, Whisperkin. Come in, come in. A drink for our new friend. Are you visiting North Vale for the first time?
This is my first time in North Vale. I was very thrilled at how welcoming and pleasant everyone is. I will confess, not every high elf I've met has been as nice as you.
Yeah. Good genes and all, I suppose. Who are your friends?
These are my friends Gil and Rosie. What was his name again, Michael?
Alan.
And this is my new friend Fallon. He just offered to buy drinks for all of us.
Yes, it's the least I can do for some newcomers on this festive eve.
We were told the whiskey is especially good.
Oh, you're quite right about that. What did I call it? The ember what? Hold on, where's my menu?
I just wrote down whiskey, but I remember it had a fancy name.
Ember fruit whiskey.
Ember fruit whiskey, yes. Really lovely blacksmith's apprentice named Caleb recommended it to us.
Oh, yes. Caleb is a dear, little gruff around the edges, but really sweet at heart. He snaps his finger, and off of the shelves behind the bar, a bottle floats and kind of comes over and lands on the bar and slides down, and behind it, 3 glasses sort of flip through the air. He takes the bottle as it slides down to the bar and pours the 3 drinks.
So you're the bartender.
I'm the proprietor, darling.
I had no idea that we were in company of the master of this fine establishment.
Yes, indeed.
It's a nice little trick you got going on there for serving your patrons.
Well, a little bit of flair, a little bit of panache.
Oh,
you know what I mean, don't you, old boy? And he gives Vigo an elbow.
Yes. Do you happen to have anything made from the golden rain berries?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the toppings on our trifle. Do you have much of a sweet tooth, or are you looking for something a little more spirituous in libation?
The latter, if you have.
Give me just a moment. And then he looks to Odessa. Is the whiskey all right with you, my very large mountain kin?
Let me taste it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Here, taste mine. Dimitra will just hand over her glass.
You're a big gal. Roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Just a sec.
Yeah.
18 on the die.
How much? 18? Yeah, you're good. has a very like sharp citrus kind of taste to it right at the front. But as you swallow it, it turns very, very, very sweet. But that alcohol burn feels very, very, very prominent. You know, like if you drink a really like high proof, it's almost like you feel like if you were to burp, a little puff of smoke would come out. The liquid itself does also have a faint glow to it. He smiles, well, and then offers you the other glass.
Sure, why not?
I'll be right.
Yes.
I'll be right back about those rainberries. And he saunters off.
Well, he's really nice.
Certainly, the person who wants to sell us drinks in the long run is going to be nice to us, I would imagine, yes.
Not always. There's some very gruff bartenders out there. He's very polished and fancy and
Don't know too many
really pretty.
rough high elves, unfortunately.
True. I know some very, well, not gruff, but I know some very impolite high elves.
I met a gruff elf once and he was super high. Wait, what are we talking about?
Well played. Inspiration.
Odessa, what are you doing while these two chitter chatter?
Just looking around, people watching.
You'll notice that the painting is still being moved, and give me a perception check, Odessa, because there are quite a few people in here.
18.
You'll notice that kind of standing by, like not really like they're trying to hide, but they are behind a column, watching these two guys move this painting, and they're kind of like eyeing it a little nervously as they puff on a pipe, and you notice that it's a Firbolg. There's a number of just like people, you know, just NPCs as they may be referred to. But there are a few noteworthy characters. There is another sort of short and svelte dark elf that is actually kind of in the corner with a big cleaver chopping meat.
In the corner of the tavern?
Yeah, there is a kitchen back. You can see that there's another door that leads off somewhere else back in the corner where presumably that would be the kitchen.
Are you telling me there's a dark elf chef involved here?
Yeah, there is. That's
Wait,
super
okay.
weird, right?
Is this
Oh,
person,
boy.
is this dark elf cleaving meat? Are they in the kitchen or are they just out in like
It is
the
a
patron area?
kitchen adjacent.
Okay.
It's not a patron. They're not tables or anything. It is just near and they're by a window chucking stuff out the window.
He's just trying to
Okay.
intimidate other people. He's
We
just
can see into the kitchen, this dark elf.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is actually a lady with short white hair.
Oh, okay. My disappointment is palpable. But it's not another dark elf chef that we know from another place.
You don't know what her name is.
Oh,
You don't know what her last name is.
Oh boy.
Shut up. Why don't you drink some shut up?
I would shut up if my drink would hurry up and get here.
Yeah.
Vigo will while still waiting for Thalen to come back. This is taking an eternity. Nudges Dimitra and says, "Do you think if they'd let us perform for a room?"
I think they would, and I would love to perform with you. Thank you so much for asking. It has been way too long.
It's been some time, yes.
It's been a very long time. I had to do it all by myself all this time.
Well, at least you got to do it.
Vigo, give me a perception check.
Hey. 17.
You hear a very muffled clatter coming from presumably the floor below. And after a few moments, Thalen comes around the corner, dusting himself off.
No one drinks it often, do they?
No, it's not necessarily that. It's really more that we just had gotten a fresh batch and aged. The farmstead the family that was harvesting the berries and stopped. Well, the farmstead is kind of withered, and no one else has taken over out there. So,
Who was the family?
I believe that the Shadron, I believe was the family name. But honestly, they hadn't been here for very long, and they kept to themselves mostly. Don't think that they quite got used to reintegrating with the other Fae. You know, he then offers a very dusty bottle with a long neck, and it does have a very the liquid is very gold in color, like on the house.
Oh,
How kind. If I
that's
could
so
trouble you
lovely.
with one other question, if I may.
Oh, of course.
The names on the threshold. Whose names are those?
Oh, those are the town founders. They built the Vale.
Are they all still here?
Oh, heavens, no. A few of the descendants are. You have to understand that you don't know much about Northvale, do you? No, of course you wouldn't. You're new in town. Oh, well, we'll have to have something of a history lesson, I think. It is something of a festive occasion, though. We will have some events going on in the city, and it is going to be quite crowded in here later. I even have a little event of my own going on, but that's a little bit hush. But yes, some of the families of the town founders are still present. Though now, come to think of it, at least one of them is still around. Those high elves, live for bloody ever.
I could see how that would get tiresome, especially if you got like a relative that you don't really care for much, but they just like keep on going.
Don't they? Yes, I believe Sylvanar. Yes. Adris Sylvanar. That was his name. Quite old now, you understand. He lives up in the High Fells. He does preside on the town council for North Vale, but I don't believe I've seen him at any of the meetings here recently, to be honest.
Hmm. Oh, you know how people get when they get old. Sometimes they just cantankerous, want to be right,
Indeed.
wave their canes.
Cheers to you, Dalen. Much obliged.
Oh, cheers indeed, Gil, Rosie, Dimitra. Always a pleasure to make new friends. I do hope that you will be sticking around for the festivities, yes?
Oh, we plan to. And we would love to hear that story of yours. Since there's so many people in here, a fine fellow such as yourself might be persuaded to tell the story to all. It seems like a kind of story that a lot of people would enjoy listening to. And I could offer my humble services to underscore your story.
Well, we do have quite a bit of regulars here, folks that live in North Vale, and the town's history is somewhat common knowledge, but you're not wrong. It could be something of an entertaining tale, I suppose. We'll wait for the crowd to build a little bit, though, I think. I also have a few other things I need to tend to before the festivities begin properly at sundown.
Gil and I here could probably build the crowd for you a little bit.
Going to say, if it would please your audience, I'm sure I could come up with a story that they haven't heard before.
Oh, well, by all means. We do have a stage. We will have a few performers there later in the evening, but you're welcome to... Wait, you do actually know how to perform, right? I don't like to assume that about fellow Fae, but...
She points at all the instruments that she's just like wrestling.
Oh, right. I wasn't sure if that was some sort of absurd fashion statement.
That is super fair. I could see how you would get that.
We're both
We're both college graduates. Yes, I think we are well equipped.
Well, by
But
all means.
in return, we are in need of rooms during our stay here. Perhaps we could play for our keep.
I think that is a perfectly reasonable accord. And what do you play, Rosie?
Cards mostly.
Oh. Look more like a good arm wrestler to me.
Oh,
That's presumptive, but not untrue. Did you want to?
Oh, no. But, you do have the look of a fighter about you. Perhaps you'd be interested in, well, you can keep a secret, yeah. Not really a secret, you just can't tell the mayor. She's really got a craw up there. The town has this whole no violence sort of whammy put on it, and, well, a little bit of competitive brawling, don't you know? So in the cellar, we have a sort of recreational combat group. You might call it a fight club.
Would you though?
I don't suppose you would, actually.
I thought the first rule was that you wouldn't talk about it.
How?
Well, funny thing about that is the first rule is, well, once you've gone down there and actually fought, you can't talk about it.
I see.
Yes. Fun little enchantment, that. Don't worry, you'll keep the memories, and more importantly, the prizes. We've got some real doozies this year.
ooh, what are the prizes?
But how?
Oh, well, we have...
do you get around the whammy, as you put it.
You know, I can't tell you all of my secrets, but I will tell you that it just requires a bit of well-placed sigil work in the right structural points. I scratched sigils in some of the beams. Seemed to do the trick. And if it didn't, nobody seems to care, so...
I was under the impression that the enchantment prohibited violence from being enacted.
Oh, no. Not at all. But should the worst happen, you see that tree? And he kind of steps over towards the doorway to point at the massive fey tree that is literally impossible to not see. That is a fey oak. The fey oak is connected to every other living thing in this place. Should the general vibe be disturbed by any sort of unwanted violence, the sky turns an awful shade of red. God would then be alerted, and whomever it is would have a right problem on their hands.
But what takes place in the cellar is wanted violence, isn't it?
Absolutely. And don't you worry, we have all sorts of precautions in place to make sure that no one comes away gravely injured or harmed. We also have a ranking system, a score system, so to speak. It's not just a matter of pummeling your opponents to death. It's about precision, power, panache.
Do you allow weapons?
Immediately drawn, like, oh, it's stylish.
Of course, yes, of course. Like I said, we take all sorts of precautions to make sure that no one is in any mortal danger. But yes, you may use your weapons. Though the crowd does tend to get a little bit more into the hands-on approach. Which can come in handy if the crowd is on your side. Just sorry. Think it over. I'm going to go finish getting this painting put in place. No pressure. You're also welcome to just be a patron and play some bets if you like. We only have a few fighters so far. I'll be right back. And he steps away.
Dimitra's going to lean over to Odessa and be like, Odessa, that sounds like a lot of fun. You should totally say.
Okay.
Vigo's going to take his drink, throw it back, and then appears to go just somewhere else entirely, is just very far away.
I appreciate that.
All right. Is everyone okay right now? Odessa, Vigo, both seem kind of out of it, I guess is the phrase. What's going on?
Definitely don't respond to you using the name Vigo.
Sorry, Gil.
I'm sorry. What was it?
You just went somewhere else just now?
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Reminiscing, as it were. That's all.
Is it something you just can't tell me because of where we are right now?
The names on the entranceway. One of them is the name of a good friend of ours.
Oh, wait, who?
Vigo.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Our friend. Wink. Vigo. Family name is on the front door.
Oh, oh. Okay, so, wait, so our, mutual friend,
Yes.
uh, his name is on the door, his family name, because he has a family name,
Sort of.
is
It's
on the
the
doorway.
elvish version of it, but yes.
Huh. So you're thinking that one of our friends' relatives is a founder of this town and might be around?
I have no idea.
Maybe we should go talk to that Idris person.
Not sure I want to.
It could be really good, though, to know.
Could be very bad for our friend.
It's a good thing our friend is very good at disguises.
I'll think about it.
Okay, that's all I can ask. What about you, Odessa? What's going on? I would have thought you'd be excited about all the things that are happening and about the, I don't know, a chance to show your stuff.
Oh, I don't know why you would assume that of me. I don't think that I am very much of a showboat kind of person.
No, not a, but you do enjoy a good fight.
When necessary, yes. I'm just taking everything in. I've never been to the Fey Plane before. This is all very new, and I have no idea what you are talking about over there.
Did Thalen leave the bottle?
Yeah.
On the house.
He gave you the bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just pouring out more of it.
Okay. You need to give me a con save.
Okay.
You also seem very into these rain berries, Vigo. I mean, sorry, Gil.
All right, if you do it again, I'm gonna make you roll to see if somebody heard you.
Okay.
That was a 13 on the con
It was
save.
really good last session.
13 on the con save.
Yes.
That is a little bit of a mouthful. It doesn't quite, make you rich, but you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a mouth. Ooh.
Okay.
One of those.
I'll take a break.
Okay. That's probably wise.
Yes, the berries. Another good question for our dear friend. Perhaps next time you see him, you should ask.
Okay. So it's really loud and crowded in here. I really don't think anyone's paying attention to us.
We have perception check.
everyone, or?
No, just the one that's saying that.
Look, loud, crowded places are really generally a good place to talk because it's too loud to hear.
Yeah, but it's also a
Right,
Fey
huh?
establishment.
I got a 19.
Nobody seems to be paying attention to you.
She's just gonna kind of subtly gesture at the place. I think you're fine.
I don't trust anyone in here.
I know.
We'll talk, not here.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hide anything from you. I just don't want to talk about it. About someone else when they're not present, as it were. Would be rude, impolitic of me.
I guess it's just, there's been a lot of hiding of things from this particular friend. And I'm learning that there is still more that I don't know about this particular friend. And
You'd
so
have
please
thought it wasn't.
please, I'm talking. Please forgive me if I'm just a little put off by being told that no, I can't know. Even if
Nope.
it's just a no, I can't know right now, because it could, who knows when the next time is that you will actually be willing to talk. I'm just saying. But you know what? She's going to take a drink of her whiskey. We should go warm up this stage for Thalen, should we?
Yes. Tonight, when we retire, I will tell you anything that you want to know.
Do you promise?
I'm not trying to hide it from you. I just don't want to talk about it here in front of these people.
You heard him, right,
Regardless of whether or
Rosie?
not they're paying attention.
Because I find it very
Promise.
difficult to follow when you are being so careful about how you speak, but I do know that he is in trouble.
Also, you do remember that my name is not Gil, right?
What?
It was Galen.
She gave you a nickname. Remember, we had a discussion.
That's such an undignified nickname for a ladrin. Anyway, let's...
Gil? That's a great name.
To the stage, I suppose.
So as you move towards the stage, there are a few boxes and things that are kind of in the way as they've been getting the room ready for the tavern events. Balin is directing these two individuals with this painting. They finally seem to get it settled. If we want to turn our attention to roll 20, he pulls the cloth off of it. And it is a painting of a tall, very statuesque drow with armor in a forest that would you would assume is the Feywild. After another moment, Phelan is sort of regarding it, and then you see him actually give the Firbolg a hug. The Firbolg sort of pats him on the shoulder. They have kind of a soft moment, where they seem to be chatting quietly for a second. Phelan then goes back to the other two guys, and the Firbolg starts making his way. So this is a Firbolg, very, very tall, with sort of rusty, sort of orange kind of skin. But much older than Odessa, though. This is probably the first Firbolg that either Dimitra or Vigo have seen that Gil. God, I can call you whatever I want.
No. I thought you were saying it was the only other Firbolg I'd ever seen, and that would...
No. This is probably the only Firbolg you've seen with this much age on them. This would be considered an elder.
Oldest.
Yeah, like they live a really long time, like average, like I think 600, 700 years. This guy's probably pushing 650. Like he is ancient. But he's dragging on a pipe. He's got a bag with him, with some like scrolls and stuff in them. He sort of adjusts his glasses as he's coming around the corner, and he stops when he sees Odessa. Oh, hello. Do not see very many mountainkin here. Sorry. You're probably in town for the festival, yes?
Not specifically, but now that we know it is happening, yes.
Well, it should be a very good time. Dallin runs a very fine establishment here. He should be well taken care of. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to head home for the evening.
I couldn't help but notice you paid particular attention to this new painting that's just been unveiled. Do you
Yes.
know the subject?
Yes, intimately. That is my late wife.
I thought that might be the case.
Yes, Fallon is one of her cousins.
Oh. So, do you live here then? You lived here with her?
Yes, we had a small farmstead on the edge of the town.
Oh, a farmstead. What did you grow?
This and that. Mushrooms did really well. Also grew some bark fruit when the rains were kind. Mostly, though, we made our living as an artisan. See, I'm a painter. I painted the portrait.
Lovely.
The farmstead was really more of a retirement sort of situation for Ternelin. Sorry, that was my wife, Ternelin.
She must have been quite something for you to capture her so lovely, and for Thalen to want to hang your work here.
Yes, well, she was quite well known about town and quite well liked. Her passing was a difficult time. But that is all right. We honor her memory as best we can. She loved the Salur Festival. I thought it was only appropriate to bring the painting on today of all days. I'm sorry, I did not catch your name.
Oh, do you have a name?
Yes, do you not?
Oh, I do now. I did not used to.
Interesting. Where are you from?
I am from Karojid.
Oh, an offlander. Oh.
So you're familiar with the other continents in Ascensia?
Not personally, no, only by repute. See, I've been in North Vale for, a long time now.
How did you come to be here?
I came with Ternalian. Well, that's kind of a long story. We met in wartime, and anyway, we found ourselves in Eversun, and you never. I really he starts to get like visibly a little uncomfortable. He puffs on his pipe a little bit, and he's like fidgeting with something in his pocket. I do not mean to be rude, but I really must be going.
Oops, I did not mean to upset you.
No. It's I don't do terribly well in crowds these days. Lots of noise. I'm sure you understand. If you would like to chat more, though, you're welcome to come by my studio. It is on the second level, just ahead of the market district.
That would be lovely, thank you. They
Yes.
call me Odessa, by the way.
It is a pleasure to meet you. He goes to shake your hand.
The pleasure was all mine.
Well, I do hope you enjoy the festivities. May the illusions be bright and festive for you. Good day. And he shuffles out as much as a 7-foot tall person might shuffle.
Well, Gil, what would you like to perform this evening?
Vigo takes out his book of stories, and he says, "Here, pick one from Karujit that these folks won't have heard before."
I don't think I'll have heard anything from Karaji.
Yeah, I know. Just pick one from the book.
I just pick one at random.
Yeah.
So she's just gonna flip open the book and point to, oh, this is one of my favorites, and show it to him.
And said, excellent, yes. This will do well. Go ahead.
Can we take our bathroom break there
Yeah.
before y'all get started? Because I feel like this is going to be another leg.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell a whole story. No.
Oh,
We'll just roll perform for how great we are at telling it.
You're just gonna roll the die and then that's it. We go on to the next.
You're not gonna role play your performance. That's lame.
No. I'm gonna role. I have a thing I was gonna say, but I'm not gonna tell a whole story off the top of my dome. I'm not that.
We'll role play our intro. Come on.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Dimitra and Gil were about to take stage. That's how I'm going to say it from now on.
Fantastic. Again, I was not upset with you calling me Vigo. I thought never mind. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Everything is a disaster. All right. So I guess we'll take the stage. And
yeah.
What instrument are you electing to play, Dimitra?
Well, what is the mood of the story you're going to tell?
Mysterious.
Ooh, mysterious.
Ooh, appropriate.
Okay.
We will say that the afternoon is wearing on. The sun is starting to set.
Mysterious and sad, or mysterious and like
adventurous?
Ooh.
Adventurous. Okay, yes, thank you. That helps. We'll do the lute.
So which of the 18 instruments that you've got stuck in your bag are you pulling out?
We'll do the lute, but she's also going to hand you the tambourine.
The dulcimer.
I take a look at it. I'm like, I don't. This is my instrument, Dimitra. I don't need this.
I know. Okay. Well, you know how to use a tambourine. You've used one before. It's just good to have a little percussion sometimes.
I'll try and keep up with you. Go ahead.
A drunk dude from the crowd goes, tambourine!
He goes, what, Michael?
Tambourine!
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen.
Take the tambourine. Does the dude go like, yeah?
Welcome, well, one and all. It's just about happy hour, as it were. And we have a tale from you from distant Karujid.
Dimitri's gonna jump up on a box and go, a tale of mystery, and play some mysterious sounding chords.
Adventure.
I'm gonna put sound effects all over this.
My name is Galen Gildenskye, and this is my lovely and talented compatriot Dimitra, accompanying us as we tell you a tale of mystery, a tale of demons and mechanical men and crystals and magic. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the crystals of Underhaven. And Vigo. So Odessa, has Odessa ever seen like a bardic performance like this before? Because you're at least somewhat familiar with Vigo's talents, this is probably not as mind-blowing for you as I imagine it is for the rest of the audience. Do you know in Star Wars when C-3PO in Return of the Jedi, when C-3PO is telling that story to the Ewoks and he makes
Oh
all
yeah,
the
the sound effects.
Right. So when Vigo embodies every single character in this story, it is like a perfectly different voice each time. It's,
Nice.
he draws from his memory banks like some sort of voice that he's heard and applies it to each character. And almost unnaturally does it sound like somebody totally different than Vigo, like because it would be, right?
Really
And
good impressionist.
yes,
Right.
like
And doesn't he
extremely good.
also do like he does like the physical impressions too, right? Like
I
subtle
don't
subtle
think
things.
I don't know that. I mean, Michael, you tell me if that's something that because my understanding of a changeling is it basically I have to completely assume their entire form.
Yeah, I mean, you could employ some like magic, like prestidigitation
Yeah, I don't know
kind of
about that.
stuff, but
No, I don't think so.
I mean, Dimitra will like do illusions. She can cast through as she's playing. So
Sure.
that
Yes. Then I
like
think Dimitra can help with that then because I don't have any of that.
yeah.
cool.
Because why would I need disguise self? But yeah,
And this is
that's
that's part of their shtick, is she's always like helped with that. And in other times when we're not in Fae spaces, like that was something that she knew Vigo could do, is that he was a very good actor, and was very good at very good at like transforming himself, but she had no idea that he was a changeling. But
yes,
she'd seen him
yes.
transform. She just didn't know what was happening.
I would go. I think the way it would happen in times past, like, oh, let me go backstage and do my makeup and stuff like that, and then I would just
Hmm.
come out and be like, haha. Go.
I have a use for disguise self for a changeling.
Okay.
It changes your clothes.
Oh, that's true. Okay, fair enough. But I still don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
Just saying.
But anyway, yeah. So we tell this tale. I think again, wonderful musical accompaniment. Vigo just throwing his all into it in a way that these people are probably not used to seeing. Just because they probably haven't had changelings tell them tales before. Or maybe they have. I don't know. Like, maybe we'll find out. Do you want me to
Alright.
roll performance?
Yeah.
With
Can I do it?
advantage?
Yeah,
do
you
it
can do it.
advantage?
Yeah, you can do it with
Okay.
advantage.
That's a 30.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
the crowd goes nuts. Like it's stupid how good it
Yeah.
is.
I got
Somebody
a
even like runs to
30.
the door and is like, "Hey, everybody, look at this!" And like some more people come inside. Fallon at this point, some people even throw coins to you. Let's.
Uh,
I'm gonna reroll that one.
I got a dirty 20, by the way.
wouldn't they be rolling
Not a 30,
jewels at
Uh,
us?
Actually, no. The coins are made out of gemstone, but they're still coins.
Okay. All right.
So they're heaping coins. You collect 190 gold coins, gems, whatever the fuck currency you want to call them.
Okay.
Gems,
Uh,
It's just money makes me so hostile.
at
It
the
drives
at,
me
at the end, I will take a big sweeping bow and then step to the side and offer Dimitra to come up and take a bow as well.
she
Let
will
the
do.
audience shower her with
Uh,
praise.
and
Um,
she'll, yeah, I was gonna do we are stolen. I'm Dimitra. This is Gil, and we are the Stolen Scenes. You've been a great audience. Enjoy the rest of your festival.
if you'd like to hear from us again, please do tell the proprietor we'll be here throughout the festival.
There's more clapping. At this point, some other musicians have actually come in, and they like kind of come work their way up to the stage to start setting up, presumably like the house band maybe, or band that is intended on performing for the evening, and just some sort of general tavern ambiance music starts, which I will insert here.
Vigo turns to them and says, "Good luck following that."
One of them just stares daggers at you.
Dimitra's gonna wink and blow him a kissy face.
He blushes.
Uh,
At this point, Thalen has made his way over to the bar where Odessa, where are you? You guys kind of came in and stopped at the bar, and then they went up. Did you stay at the bar? Okay, I figured. So Thalen has actually made his way back over and is like leaning on the bar, watching the performance, clapping. Oh, good show, good show. Well worth the price of a room, I would think. We have one up on the top floor, actually. Nice size accommodation for you. Dimitra and Vigo, have you made your way back over?
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another pour of the rainberries, the rainberry beverage.
Good show, good show. You keep performing like that, I might have to offer you a contract. Keep you here.
I'm afraid we're
Please.
not going to be here that long, but thank you.
There's no
It's
pinning
funny.
us down. Nice try, though.
It's funny, the number of Whisperkin that I've heard say that, and now they're at all the town council meetings. Yeah, we have a room up on the top floor for you. You can go up whenever you like.
And be honest, is there anyone monitoring the goings on in that room?
Not that I could speak to. There are some who say that the veil seems to listen to all the words said in it itself. But I think that's just a bunch of silly superstition.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah.
It's an 11.
You believe him. I mean, give me another perception check.
Okay. 6.
Yeah, you're good.
Woo,
I am more comfortable telling you, the player, that no one will be listening to you in there.
Okay.
Until you give cause for people to be suspicious of you, nobody's going to be suspicious of you. At least in this place.
The Fae are
I got you.
right?
I got you. Leaving the tavern, I can't speak to that. But the tavern is going to be your little safe haven for now.
Understood. Well, thank you very much, Thalen. You've been quite a gracious host.
No, of course. Thank you. I really did enjoy your performance. While you are in town, feel free to take the stage whenever you like. At that point, the drow in the corner that was chopping meat has kind of come over.
In the corner or in the kitchen?
Wherever has made her way over. And she kind of comes over.
Oh, are you preparing dishes, like some sort of feast for the evening?
I was chopping the scraps.
Okay, and you're going to make something with said scraps?
Oh no! Feed him to the pigs.
I see. Is that your job here?
Tonight.
Can I help you with anything?
Oh, sure. She comes right over and grabs you by the arm and starts pulling you to the kitchen.
I wasn't. Where are we going?
Kitchen, work, help.
No, I'm not. I meant, you came over to us? Was this something that you needed? I wasn't offering my services in the kitchen.
Right. Sorry, I get distracted. And she lets go of your arm. She lingers there for a second, and then she goes back over to Alan. And she leans in and speaks to him. Are we trying to hear what she says?
Yes.
Yes.
Perception checks. If you're trying to drop eaves.
I mean,
21.
he's right next to me, right? So I don't know that
I hear nothing.
So
I start drinking my whiskey.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I'm just
you're whiskey. Vigo, you hear her lean in and speak softly to Thalon. She says that I think I've finished everything that you needed me to do. I think I'd like to go get ready for the festival now. And he pats her on the arm and says, of course, go right ahead. She turns and she looks to Vigo. She doesn't acknowledge the other two of you, and just waves and then leaves.
Ta-ta.
I think someone's got a
That-
crush on you.
Who was that?
She's sweet on you, whoever she is.
That's Marion. She's well, we found her in sort of a state a number of years ago, but she is very sweet and she works hard.
Does she have a family name?
I don't know that they've ever. Fuchs, I think, maybe.
Perfect.
Put it in there.
I've heard of the Fuchs family.
Yes. Quite the talent with the culinary arts. She does make
that's my understanding, yes.
a mean stew, I will say.
Have you? I'm sorry. Have you had their badger bourguignon?
Oh, he's delightful.
Die for, is my understanding. One day I hope to tear my teeth into something from the Fuchs cookbook.
I assume this is a Bard Party reference.
Indeed it is.
Okay.
Maybe not.
For one of us, for those of us who have not been privy to the Bard Party workings, that is good clarification. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been told about this.
I've been told I didn't know the names, but there's people watching this probably who didn't know what was happening.
You know what? That one's for us.
And eventually for them when Bard Party is also released.
It's 47 for them and 1 for us.
we don't know that the characters are gonna stay the same.
I know, that's the sad thing. That's okay.
But he's canon. He's a part of the
Perfect.
he's a part of the Fuchs name is a part of the my whole like Arcana cast stuff and the Bard College and all that is still there. Yeah, it's all there. We'll be a minute before we circle back around. But oh yeah, no, that's too good not to.
I'm extremely tickled. All right.
It's a little sneak peek for y'all.
Little teaser, a little something. Oh, pepper.
So speaking of the festival, is there anything else that we need to do in the tavern? Are we signing up for the combat, or is that happening now, or if that's happening
It's going to happen.
The festival.
It's going to happen in waves, so you could do it now if you wanted to, or you could come back.
I mean, whenever.
It's up to you, Odessa, if you want to do it now, or you want to go see some of the festival before you try to get your blacksmith voucher.
I don't understand. Don't I need someone else to fight? Why are there no scheduled times for this?
I mean, you weren't given any other details in terms of like how the fights work. You don't necessarily know that you're directly fighting anybody else.
Oh. Here comes the fantasy rancor.
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to the cellar.
Okay, let's go to the cellar.
So as you come over so Thalon kind of meets you there at the threshold. There is no battle map for this. And is Odessa the only one who's participating?
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can
Go ahead.
bet on it though, right?
You can, yeah.
Heck yeah. Just got 190 currency.
All right, yeah. So Thalon, Odessa, and I guess as the three of you come to the door, Thalon sort of smiles and gestures down the steps, and then you hear him snap his fingers, and when you get to the bottom of the steps, he's there again. Should do for the time being. Let's go. Come in. And he leads you into the basement of the establishment, which I do have artwork for, even though there's not a battle map. I still have, and it's this very large, round room. There's actually probably more people down here than there is upstairs, and you can tell that the cellar expands beyond the size of the building above it, meaning that it's dug out wider underground. There are also quite a few doors that seemingly lead to other places in the cellar, but they're all closed up. There's a big crowd of people. There are two other individuals sort of in the ring at the middle. Fallon kind of comes out and he goes, "Oh, first match of the evening. We have a newcomer to North Vale, please." And he gestures to Odessa. "Announce yourself and where you're from."
I'm Rosie, and I'm from not here.
Rosie of Not Here, we are so excited to have you joining us. Standing next to Thalon is a very tall wood elf. He's got kind of long, really wavy hair. I think I have artwork for him, but I don't know that I do.
Add it in post.
Yeah, I'll add it in post. Joining us, fan favorite, that's for certain, Finnick Starwill. And he kind of throws his hands up and goes, "All right, it's going to be great. It's a pleasure to meet you, Odessa." Or Rosie, sorry.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, you
Harsh
cut out.
and Ooh.
Oh, what? Man, harsh.
Your function is mellow, man.
Is the crowd gonna turn on me if I beat this guy?
Rosie, don't you worry about that. It's all in good fun, and there are multiple prizes, sort of a ranked situation. Nobody leaves empty-handed, just with bruised or bent or sometimes broken egos. Isn't that right, Leorin? And then standing next to Finnick is another high elf. This is of the Winter Court, though. They are very pale, very dark hair, and they are wearing somewhat regal-looking armor. This is probably the most well-dressed person that the three of you have seen since you've arrived in North Vale.
Didn't you say the Winter Court was missing?
Yes, I did.
So the Winter Eladrins still...
They still exist. It's just the
Okay.
court itself is what's missing. Yeah,
So
they
got
are
it. Thank you.
leaderless.
He's putting my very nice frock coat to shame, is what you're telling me.
I do have an image. I do have an image of Finnick. So let me drop both of them on. Oh, they don't have their backgrounds taken out, but that's okay. So this is Leorin. That is the Winter Court Eladrin.
Oh, he doesn't look that fancy.
It's very nice armor.
Yeah. It's so boring.
And
It's
I mean,
gauche
maybe
is what it is.
Speak for yourself.
it is a little, but
He's all black. You have to have at least some splash of color in there, like red.
No,
the color.
black on black.
The splash of color comes from the blood of my enemies. And then wait until you see Finnick. He's fucking great.
Vigo's not really a splash of red so much as an entire brushstroke of red, so.
And that's Finnick. The dude bro elf.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
Wow.
He is not as pretty as the others.
I am bucking hard against the pretty elf stereotype. I've got elves of every shape and size and facial structure.
Bro's gonna smoke a bowl and deliver me a pizza.
You're goddamn right, bro.
Where's his Paca shell necklace?
Yeah.
He's got beads.
Eh.
All right.
Not the same. Bruh.
So Thalon kind of walks around the perimeter of the circle. Oh, we are all familiar with how this works. Wait, no, we aren't. Right. To your would-be corners, but this is a circle. So whatever you deem as a corner. Leorin and Finnick kind of come for the center and hold out their hands to each other, and then both kind of look to you, Rosie.
Oh, it's a 3.
And they
And
shake
then
hands.
well,
Good luck. Right, yeah. Have fun. All right. So the three of them disperse.
What are we doing?
Right. So the way that this works, all right, this is the point where we break the character to meta explain the mechanic of how this is going to work. The 3 Ps, the alliteration from earlier was how this works: power, precision, and panache. So what you're going to do is an enemy will be conjured. The enemy has a stat block. You will fight this enemy using your character. What you roll for your attack is your power. Or no. What you roll for your attack is your precision. What you do damage-wise is your power. And your panache comes from your player ability to describe what it is you are doing.
Okay.
These numbers will be tallied versus what the other 2 characters who have full character sheets are doing.
Before everything starts, I want to go over to Odessa, and much like a boxing coach, I'm gonna put both my hands on her shoulders and be like, "Now listen, I know that Vigo's not that much shorter. I don't compared to most other people, but sure, still shorter. Fine. Looking up at her. Listen, I know that style is not your forte, but I believe in you. I believe that you can put these 2 doofuses down with every last ounce of panache that you have. You're going to do this, and I'm going to cast motivational speech.
Nice.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, "Yeah, is that a spell or barbaric inspiration? What are you doing?"
You're doing something. Motivational speech doesn't. It's probably not going to help that much, but it felt like a fun thing to cast. 5 temporary hit points, advantage on wisdom saves.
Nice.
If you are hit, you get advantage on your next attack.
Nice.
And it all stops when the temporary HP is gone. And then I will also say, and just for you, we're going to play a little ditty for you during.
I'm going to play. I was already planning on playing a little ditty.
Task me an instrument, and I'll play rhythm. I'll let you take lead, Dimitra. I just wanted to join in.
Let me take lead. I was trying to steal my thunder is what you're doing.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I just wanted to give a bardic inspiration as well.
Which is what?
Bardic inspiration.
A D8, right?
Yes,
yes, you get a D8 that you can add to any roll.
Any roll.
Any roll.
Any roll.
Cool.
Any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. Then you can be done after seeing the D20 roll, but before knowing the outcome.
If it worked or not.
Correct.
Yes. Dimitra's gonna do that too.
We can take turns. God, I'm sorry.
I was gonna make a big deal out of it because it's the first time she's actually done bardic inspiration on someone else and not herself. But
it's true.
You had to do it first.
I know this is live taping number 4. There's only 4 episodes, but she's been playing this character for a year and a half, 2 years. And this is the first time Dimitra's ever done it for anybody else.
Well, she hasn't done it yet. Give it time. We'll see if she does.
All right. So as the 3 of you kind of take point, we are going to do sort of an initiative roll. So roll a d20, Odessa.
You can use it on this. You can use
You
your
could.
inspiration on that.
do I put my initiative on there?
Yeah, it's like a normal initiative roll.
Okay. It's not very
Finn.
high, 7.
Okay, Finna got a 20. Leorin got a 17.
Yeah,
So they're gonna go.
see how they do first, so I know what I need to beat. It's
Alan is standing kind of in the center of the ring, and he dips his fingers in his wine, and then flicks a few drops on the ground. And there's this like swirl of dust in the middle, and it spirals up. It's red in hue, and then this insect-like creature appears. I am using one of my first Eldaria exclusive monster tables. So I don't have artwork for everything because I didn't know what to prepare for. This is called a Gleamthorn Stalker, and it is a fey insect that Dimitra and Vigo would probably recognize. I don't know that Odessa had ever seen one because they didn't make it. They didn't come into the material plane. But it's basically this very large grasshopper-like creature with dark chitin and sort of amethyst hues. And it has big, bright purple wings and all of this like sparkly dust around it. Finnick is first, and he kind of pulls out these. He's got like bracers. And he kind of like, and then he runs to punch. And the first one is a big whiffer, but I still have to write the numbers down. Oh, the second one was a nat 20 though. So he sort of runs and slides to do this uppercut. The Gleamthorn sort of flutters to the side. It doesn't quite fly, but it kind of up in the air a little bit to the side. And as he brings in that southpaw and connects with its jaw. And then as he follows through with the punch, he sort of spins around in a circle and points at the crowd. And there's a cheer. And then he runs back to his corner. All right. So Elorian, who he kind of floats in the air a little bit and like moves his hands in that sort of Jedi way, and then stretches them out, and a bolt of lightning shoots across and hits the stalker. No, it doesn't. It whizzes right past them and explodes a crate off to the side. People jump out of the way, but the second one hits and it lights up. Oh, I don't know why I did this. I'm just creating more math for myself. And then he does a fair.
Let's go, Rosie. You got both these losers beat.
Is it my turn?
That's it.
Okay.
Just think about everything that Gil and I do all the time.
Odessa is going to reach behind her and loose the halberd and do a nice flourish to bring it into position.
Nice. Light it on fire.
And then she's gonna set it on fire. She's gonna ignite her halberd. She takes out her halberd. She does her nice little like flourish to get it into a ready attack position. And then she pauses so that everybody can see her ignite it. And as the crowd gasps as the flames engulf her weapon, she uses distant strike.
As it ignites, Dimitra starts playing some rousing chords.
And she doesn't even move. She just teleports 10 feet to right in front of the creature and takes a big swing, which gives me advantage, I believe, on that as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, you get it on the first attack. You do.
That is that's a 30.
Wow.
With your D8, I'm
No.
guessing.
No. I have not used it yet. I'm going to add it to
What?
the damage roll.
What did you use to get a 30?
I have a plus 11 on my halberd, and I got a
Oh.
19.
Oh, okay then.
Dang.
We're good. Note to self. Nerf.
No.
Don't you dare!
I don't know that you can use it on a damage roll.
You told me any roll.
Sorry, ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. I'll leave it to the DM.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
ability.
Then
You clearly didn't need it
because-
for your
because
attack
the
roll.
scores matter.
And you
I
get 2
will get that.
attacks.
Oh,
So
you
you get 2 attacks. So use it on your second attack.
If you need it.
No, I would just use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I did need it also, but it's gonna be
Oh,
a
good.
22 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, both of those hit. Roll your
Yeah.
damage.
10 plus 7, that's 11. And what did we decide? A D8 of fire damage?
Mm-hmm.
11 points of slashing damage, if that matters, plus an additional 5 of fire damage.
Okay.
And then she's just going to calmly put the halberd back on her back, still on fire, and then then the flames will go out.
Roll me a performance check with advantage.
Ooh.
And you can add the D8 to that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Because this will be your
Yeah.
second D8.
Because this would be your second one, yeah.
That is a 23.
Nice.
Oh wait,
You hear
24.
that?
I forgot to
You
add
hear
my
Vigo
actual
and
performance
Dimitra just play.
bonus.
Do.
So much in like a classic video game style, after Rosie makes her move, it freezes in place and just goes and disappears. The crowd goes crazy. Let me do some quick math. This round goes to Rosie. The crowd erupts. If you want to know, you had power and panache over the other two. Finnick did better. Or no, you had precision and panache over the other two. Finnick had power. He did a little more damage in one hit. I did this because I wanted to have something in place for you to compete to get prizes, because I did not want to fall into the pitfall of having to earn money to buy the things that we want. And the top prize, which we will say because it's this first round and Fallon is just a really generous chap. First prize is a 1-night stay at the spa.
Oh. Okay.
That's for me.
Yeah, it's almost like it was made specifically for Odessa. Crazy. The crowd is very pleased with Rosie. They all want to shake hands, and if they had cell phones, if those existed, they'd be taking selfies.
Well, I guess she can have her moment in the sun. Do you want to talk briefly, Dimitra?
I mean, I do, but I also feel like Odessa deserves to hear this as well.
Fair. I don't mind telling her later, but she seemed less concerned about being made aware of it immediately.
Meg, it is up to you. Do you want Odessa to go with the two of them or not?
Oh yeah, I'll go.
She just seemed like she was busy. Is why
Yeah.
it's the only.
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I am also pretty modest. So like,
Vigo will say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Rosie will return. She'll be back later. Please, if you'll give us a moment, and I'm sure you'll see her later this evening for more blood sport, or whatever it is you call this. Until then, kumite."
How much money did you make betting on me?
Great question. We were never afforded the opportunity to put down money on it. All right. Assuming we reach the top floor.
Yeah, I have artwork for that too.
Okay. Very quickly, can I just make an investigation and make sure there's nothing in here that would be like any sort of...
Yes, absolutely. You have no fucking idea.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah, you have no clue whatsoever. Okay.
Torithiel. That's the name above the threshold. It's Elvish for Treeminder. Treeminder was my family's last name, our family name. I am, for all intents and purposes, Vigo Treeminder. My
Okay.
family tended orchards of the golden rain trees, harvested the
Oh.
berries.
Oh, like you're
Very,
from
very.
here?
I don't think so. It's a very boring occupation. I have no interest in it, but we had an entire orchard of them that we tended. But I have no idea why my family's name, especially translated into Elvish, which we never used, would
That
be
is
here.
Weird. Well, I mean, it seems like that is a language commonly used here, or at least by the founders. So, are you sure it is somebody from your family, or is it just a name?
It's just the name. I have no idea if it's my family or not.
What if it is your family, but they're just pretending to be an elf, so they translated their.
Or what if it's kin of mine that were discovered to be changelings?
Huh?
If they were ultimately found out to be what they are, I'm not certain I want to reveal that that's my family. It's a very,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
it's
So
a
they
conundrum.
But
right. So
if the people here viewed being a changeling as a bad thing,
They
and
would.
your family were found out, why would the name still exist?
right, they would have scratched it out or something.
Yeah.
It's history. I'm not certain they would have necessarily absolutely scratched it out. But trust me, if there's anyone that hates my people more than in the standard people of the material plane, it's the Fae.
I think that standing around here talking about all the what ifs is not going to accomplish anything, and I think we need to talk to that guy that Thalen mentioned.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is interesting information.
Well, thank you for you. I was being accosted saying I was hiding something. I wanted to make sure I did not hide anything any further.
Yeah, it sounds like your family is possibly tied to this place.
Possibly.
And I think we should
Maybe
talk
you have
to.
a relative here.
Maybe, but I'm terrified.
Just asking about what happened to them is not going to hurt anything for you. They're not going to know that you're tied to it.
Also,
No, I
we're
understand
new
that.
here and we're diplomats, so we can all be on a like. We want to
what's-
know everything about the town. We're going on that walking
Yes.
tour, remember?
Yes.
So maybe
Yes.
we will learn about the history, and it will be very natural and easy for you to just ask all the questions about the founders.
The concern I have is, what's the end goal there? What ultimately do we want to find out about these pre-minders here?
It sounds like you want to know if it's your family.
I don't know that I do.
Okay.
Look, if I ask if they were changelings, and they
don't
were,
ask if they were.
well,
then don't ask that. Just ask what happened to them.
then we'll never know for certain. But we'll follow the road as far as we can. I just don't want anything bad to befall either of you.
Oh, we'll be fine.
I don't think anyone would take kindly to finding out that you were friends with changelings, or a changeling. I don't.
How are you going to get found out? I think you're thinking about this way too much, Vigo.
I also do not.
I don't think you're thinking about it enough.
What other people think about my choice in friends.
You will if they imprison you, or worse.
They'd have to catch me first.
Yes, but I don't know that. Despite your impressive physical prowess, I don't know that an entire town is something you want to go against.
I think you are
Look.
jumping a little bit fast to a conclusion about a mob with pitchforks and torches. These people seem
It's
There is a
fucking-
history of Fae not liking changelings, so I can
Mhm.
see where that's coming from. But what
not
I
making
don't
this statement.
understand is how they're going to know that you're a changeling. I think you were too smart and too cautious for that to even possibly happen. We will ask
You
the right
did use
questions.
his real name like twice.
Only only twice, but nobody knows that Vigo's a changeling.
No, they don't know that I am, and I don't think that I'm going to reveal myself by
You're
some
not. So
slip
what's
up.
the problem?
I
We'll just go to the guy and talk to him, and we'll find out what happened to this founding family, and we'll also find out what happened to the other founding families, and no one will be any wiser. It's gonna be fine. Hey, it would be
delving
great to know if it's your family around here.
Do you want to leave? Do you feel unsafe? Is that it?
delving too deeply can often bring ruin. I am concerned about asking questions. If this was a family of changelings, and they
Then
were,
don't ask if it's a family of changelings.
you're not letting me finish. If it was one, and they were found out and cast out, and we're asking about them, that raises suspicion.
Not if we are asking
I don't
about
know.
all of the founders, just because we want
Oh.
to know the town history, but we don't have to ask that if you don't want.
I just want to be cautious. That's all.
We will, and we'll be cautious. I mean, how
It
can
is
we not be cautious?
a shock to see that name, as
Yes,
you
I
might
can.
imagine.
Yes.
So, that being said, let's enjoy the evening.
That you hear the noise of festivities outside, fireworks going off, the sound of voices raising in music, as the sky turns a very deep sapphire, and that's where we'll call it.
Done.
Rules
We've
are
all
made
learned a
up.
valuable lesson tonight.
Never stop playing.
Never stop playing.
Never stop playing. Thanks for joining us today.
Good night, everyone. As always.
Never stop playing.
Never stop playing.
There it is.